Here's a fucking weekly recap! Yeah! Okay. Welcome to week 3. This week's been super weird. Let's get into it. Here are the standings. In PUDs, the division PUDs, is Funny Beats 2-0. Team Big Pebbles represent 2-0. River Manor Swamp Dogs 1-1, tied with the Crunkdown Stompwomps 1-1, and Shut Up Dylan 0-2. In the Suds, Chainsaw Pandas 2-0, Squeakers 1-1, McCarthy on Your Face 1-1, Bane Gal 0-2, and You Talk About Dicka also 0-2. For this week's matches is the 0-2 Shut Up Dylans versus the 1-1 Crunktown Stompwomps. Currently projected the Womps over the fuck you Dylans, the 134-98. The River Manor Swamp Dogs face the Bang Gals this week, 1-1 versus 0-2. Capri v G Babies, projected total for Capri 100 versus DTF. The River Manor Swamp Dogs projected at 131. Funny Beats v Team Big Pebbles represent. Projected total for Team Big Pebbles is 117 versus Mike, who's at 112. You Talk About Dicka versus Squeakers, 108 for JR v 106 for the Squeaks. And McCarthy on Your Face versus the Chainsaw Pandas. Chainsaw Pandas 2-0 and McCarthy on Your Face 1-1. Kate Fillion, a.k.a. Chris. Seriously Dylan, 137 v the Gebs, 113. And that is what week 3 is going to look like. Those projections mean nothing at all, and they'll be shot to shit almost immediately. Let's go to the waiver wire. The waiver wire going through at 12 p.m. last night. Not the only thing that happened. Mark will cover that later. The Womp Womps, that would be me, dropped the Redskins because they can suck my dick, and picked up the Dolphins for this week. Seriously Dylan added the Colts D, dropped the Steelers. I also dropped Maurice Jones-Drew, who's hurt, picked up Niles Paul at tight end because Jason Witten can't barely do anything right, and Tony Romo most likely is mentally ill. The Seriously Dylan dropped Bishop Sankey, who I did not like to begin with, and picked up Niall Davis, who looks like he's going to be getting some time due to the injury report that recently came out. Seriously Dylan dropped Ryan Matthews, picked up Ahmad Bradshaw, who had a decent game the other night. Matt Asiata was added by Mark because of the whole AP situation, and he dropped Robert Griffin, who looked like he was in pain. He was in pain on the sidelines this weekend. Added his backup, Kirk Cousins, and dropped the Giants because the Giants' defense, because it seems like they cannot do anything right. Injury report. This weekend was an unprecedented injury cavalcade of bullshit. Ben Tate, Cleveland, 2 to 4 weeks out. Ryan Matthews, San Diego, 4 to 6 weeks out. Mark Ingram, 4 to 6 weeks. Jamal Charles, ankle, 4 to 6 weeks. And Noshawn Moreno, 4 to 8 weeks. Wes Welker, though, most likely coming back. He entered the Denver facility this morning, coming back this week. AJ Green does not look like he's going to be out that long. It's only a toe injury, and it should be okay. Do not sleep on Brandon Marshall before the game, the Chicago game the other night. Adam Schefter tweeted that he was 75% probably not going to play. That didn't happen, and he definitely played, and he kicked ass, and I feel bad for anyone who put him on their bench. I'm not sure who has B. Marsh or if they put them on their bench, but that would super suck because he killed it. As for last week, Ryan Brady v. Danielle, I beat her 86-76 on the back of LaShawn McCoy and the Redskins defense, which put me at 1-1, and is why I'm smiling at all right now, because if not, it would be so. Some stuff happened last week, but it doesn't matter. The whole world's bullshit, so that's what it would be like, but it's not, because I squeaked out a win. Abigail lost to Elliott Smith, who is now 2-0. Dylan won against Ryan. It was a really good match, 127-111. Mike, 2-0, coming up big v Mark, 131-117. He's getting a lot of points this year. And Kate, 129 v John Robert at 71, who was plagued with injuries this week. I think 4 people within the first quarter or second quarter of their games on his team were injured, including Jamal Charles. So that did not go well for him. Mark, come do your thing.
All right. Hey, NFL, stop it. S-T-O-P, new word, I-T. Stop it. 1, stop hitting your kids. Or maybe don't leave bruises. Use a sock full of oranges, you idiots. People have been doing it for a long time. Figure it out, guys. 2, stop hitting your wives. There's no excuse for it. None of you are dating giant biker women who could beat you up, so cut the shit. 3, be better at murder. If you're gonna kill somebody, be better at it. You guys get paid multiple millions upon millions of dollars. I think you could afford a class, maybe a bag of lime, and some garbage bags, you ignorant fucks. Moving right along. Yep, salary, garbage bag, check. Adrian Peterson. Hey, Ziggy Wilf, I'm watching you. You and your shite hands bargain deal of a back alley conference at 1 a.m. Central Time, you son of a bitch. That's an hour after the waivers go through. And then on top of that, it's the same time that the waivers hit on our coast, big guy. And I don't know about you, everybody else, but my happy ass was in bed, asleep. I didn't find out till this morning. So, you too, Mr. Wilf. Cut it out. I'm watching you. I managed to pick up his backup. So, fuck you. Not very happy about the current state of the union. The state of the league. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
You're facing me this week. Do you have any words?
Well, I heard you barking off the projections, and you're right. They mean nothing, because I just moved everything around. You read off numbers before I moved everything around. So, I don't know. I've got moderate hopes. I could come back from that. Fuck, we'll see. Bye.
That was the second edition of Mark's Corner. I don't know why I was a radio DJ for a moment there. On Reddit last week, someone asked, does anyone know what goes into ESPN fantasy projections? And the first comment was, they cut off a chicken's head and let it run around on a board of numbers. Whichever one drops on its projected points for that player is it. At last, or at least, that's the only reasonable explanation for projecting Blair Walsh to get 14 points last week and then only getting 0. He got 0. And JR was, not psyched about it because he was on his team and he wasn't psyched. So remember that. Projections are not everything. You have to look into stuff or just, not. Do whatever you want. This is America. Current Week 2 trophy holders. The red stapler for the biggest win is McCarthy Interface, Kate a.k.a. Chris. And the fewest parents is G-er. You talking about Dicka, because all his players got together and were like, if we don't get 0 points, we might as well slam our faces, torsos, ankles, or whatever else into other people at high rates of speed until they are broken and shitty. So yeah, that was Week 3. The weirdest. It was so weird. So with all the injuries and with all of the, beatings that everyone was fine with, the murder here or there, and which is all that is getting in the way of what's really important. And that's beating your friends at a made-up game based on other people's actual lives. This is The Sims, but for football. And we are the gods. Mark just told Dylan to shut up. So I just thought I'd let you guys know. Okay. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye.